If you're looking for a response, different. You'll get none.
Oh, okay, sorry. Dang it. I love feedback. All right, with me, Eric McCabe. He is in the studios. Thank you for joining us, Eric.
You got it.
And Robert McCall has got his sporty little dynamic disc vest on.
It's vest weather.
Vestibule.
I would argue that it's like heavy coat.
It might have been. It might be a little cold.
It snowed a little bit.
Weather,
Did you see the big, like quarter size?
Yeah, like flurries.
I know, snowflakes. That was
but
crazy.
It's supposed to be in the 60s all next week.
I know.
Seriously?
Yes.
Like 62 or 64 this weekend.
Yeah.
In itself.
I'm interested.
All right, so we are here for Disc Golf Answer Machine episode 3 or 4. We're going to answer your disc golf questions. Let's catch up with our co-hosts here. Eric, how did you? What kind of weekend did you have?
Awful.
Why?
I was sick the entire weekend.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Sucks. With like a flu or
just a head cold?
Oh, really?
Just a bad cold. I didn't do anything Saturday, and then Sunday I started feeling better, and I actually got out and played 18 holes. So I did get out and play some.
Where did you play?
Pan.
How did that go?
It went all right.
It was muddy, huh?
It was. Yeah. It was pretty, but it was beautiful weather.
Yeah.
It was not windy, and it was probably like 40 degrees, 45 or so. So it was a little warmer than it has been. So it was good weather, good company, good times.
Nice. Well, I got to play Peter Pan myself on Saturday.
Oh.
Some friends from they moved. I can't remember where they moved to. If you guys are listening, I'm so sorry. But some friends came down to play, and we played Peter Pan. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, we went out to Casa Ramos and had a nice lunch. So I had a really good time there.
Sweet.
What about you, Robert?
One of my buddies had his birthday this weekend, and we kind of used it as our once a year get together. Me and my friends from college will, about once a year gather somewhere and just
celebrate his birthday once a year?
We do his.
Interesting.
No, I'm just saying.
That's so weird how you do
we
that.
try to get together once a year.
Oh.
This year it just happened to be on his birthday.
I got you.
And we've done it in a few different places, but this time his wife rented a house in Shreveport, and so we went down there and we just hung around and played board games.
Louisiana,
and
right?
Yes. Shreveport,
just to clear it up,
Louisiana.
You never know.
That's a fair question.
Yeah, it is.
And so on Saturday we were going to go
out. Bayou?
Mm-hmm. Okay. On Saturday there's like a swamp, like marsh in the backyard of this place.
Any gators?
It's actually really cool. The guy said the gators are hibernating right now. We still did not go swimming. Anyway, we went out to Ford Park. We were just going to go play spike ball and toss a frisbee around and stuff like that. And my buddy's like, all right, let's go out to Ford Park. And I was like, I feel like I've heard Ford Park before. And we got out there, and there were disc golf baskets. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. There's a disc golf course out here. So we parked and got out and started walking just trying to find an open spot. And over there I see a white and yellow and blue dynamic discs RV.
What?
I was like, oh.
They're everywhere.
Pardon me, what? And Matt Lloyd had come down with Bear, and he had Chase Underwood with him as well. They come down from Arkansas, and they were running a C-tier for what sounded like the amateurs on Saturday and then the pros on Sunday.
Wow, that's cool.
So, yeah, I got to say what's up to them and meet some bros, and it was great.
Nice.
Cool. So, all around good weekend. I enjoyed it.
Very cool. Well, good. We all had fun playing. I actually was doing really good on putting. I was so proud of myself. Even one of my friends, Dustin, mentioned, he said, man, you've been doing good on your putting. I had some good putts. So,
nice.
How was your putt, Eric?
Awful.
Not as good as mine. Oh, yeah.
It was not as good as yours, probably.
Anyway. No, so good times playing disc golf. It's going to be nice as the weather consistently stays warm to be able to get out there and play some disc golf. But we did have some disc golf this past weekend out at Las Vegas. Had some good showings with Team Dynamic Discs and Latitude 64 and Westside and everybody out there. It was kind of cool to start seeing more disc golf stuff on the news feed and people doing well. And, of course, Johnny Disc Golf posting some interviews. Terry Miller posting some videos, Central Coast, everybody.
Terry killed it.
He does.
He absolutely killed it this weekend with the women's coverage. Like, I was impressed.
That guy works.
He's a hustler.
Butt off.
Yes.
So I always get irritated when somebody has something negative to say about Terry Miller because that guy, I'm not saying he's perfect. And I'm not saying that he doesn't make mistakes or whatever, but
I would never say this to his face. But.
Right, I would never say this to his face. But that guy hustles and does it for the love, because he is not making buku money. He does it for the love of the sport, and I think that's awesome.
I was impressed by how quick he got everything turned around. Granted, it's maybe a little easier when it's the FPOs that you're filming that get done by noon.
Mm-hmm.
You have more time to bust it out, but either way, props to him.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Good on him.
Quick super chat from Alex Eubanks. He gave us $10 and said, "Best advice for playing a tournament course blind. Circumstances prevent me from getting there beforehand like I planned."
Ooh.
Have you played many blind courses for tournaments?
No, I really haven't. I mean, I'm sure I have at some point, and typically what I like to do is get there as early as I can and at least walk the course in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
That way I don't come up on an island hole or something crazy that I'm just not expecting, Just walk the course. That's really the best thing you can do. And one thing I do recommend is actually walk the course backwards.
Yeah, so you can kind of see the lines.
Yeah, you can see the lines, and you get a different perspective of the course when you walk it backwards.
Did he say when did he say he would get there?
It just said circumstances prevent me from getting there beforehand like I planned.
Before, but I mean,
I
assume he has time to walk the course.
If he doesn't, I would say like disc golf scene just to see if there's any pictures or something
video,
out there.
YouTube it, the course, see if there's anything like that.
If I have to play a new course and I have card mates who have played there before, I'll almost always ask them, "Hey, what do you think about this shot? Hey, is this the play?" And most of the time they're pretty cool about it. So that's always.
So you guys, let's say you guys are on a card together, right? And
here we go.
And this is not my disc golf hot take, by the way.
Okay.
And you have a guy on every hole says, "So what's the line here? What if I do this?
Not every
what
hole.
if I do that?"
I start lying to him and tell him that.
That's right. That's right. I wouldn't say on every hole because a lot of disc golf courses, I would say, half of the holes or maybe
Pretty
a little bit more.
straightforward.
It's just like throw what you see.
Right.
Like I need to throw a big hyzer.
What if it's like USDGC?
Then you're out of luck. Dude, I'll give all the advice that guy wants at that point because it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll try and ask my card mates for, what they think about it. But at the end of the day, like if they don't want to talk about it, they don't have to talk about it. But most of the time they do.
Gotcha. Cool.
All right, hold
go
on
ahead.
super quick.
Oh,
Speaking of Las Vegas Challenge, have to throw a shout out to Tristan Tanner.
Oh yeah.
What a baller.
You're going to hear that
yes.
name more often.
Yeah,
I have a feeling.
you could tell
Because we're going to say it a lot.
just from watching the Central Coast coverage. I listened to Ian Anderson and Nate Sexton do the commentary there, and Nate was really impressed by Tristan this weekend. Tristan's rated 991 right now, but he will be well over 1,000 probably by next month or something like that. He has, and I somebody posted about this on Facebook and just said that Tristan he's got superpower and he's a great player and stuff. And I said, yeah, he can just ball. Like he's a baller. I said, I'm not sure if he's quite an elite distance guy yet, but he's very close. He threw over 600 feet in distance qualifying, which got me to thinking, like, what qualifies you as an elite distance thrower? Because, like, he's probably not top 5, but he's probably, like, top 15. I mean, he can crush it. So, I don't know. I just started thinking about that.
I mean, this event absolutely proved that. It's a course that, being able to throw far is a pretty good advantage out there, I would say. I mean, look at the players that were, with the exception of Sexton, who doesn't he's not in the top 10 by any means as far as distance goes. But if you watch that coverage, there's so many forehands being thrown.
Yeah, and he smooths, like, just slow walk up and smooth. I watched him park a 450, like, 7-foot hole forehand with the Ballista Pro that didn't flex, by the way.
Or wobble.
Yeah, it rode hyzer most of the way, even almost flat, probably not all the way flat, parked. That's the stuff dreams are made of. Yeah. Unbelievable. So anyway, huge shout out to Tristan Tanner. Eric Oakley had a good showing as well. He ended up, I think, tied for 8th, but Tristan, I feel like we're going to see a lot from him this year. Yep. He's a baller.
And Paige Shue on the
Heck
FPO side.
Heck yeah.
Played on the lead card the entire
solid
weekend.
finish as well.
So what do you think? How well of a predictor is people's performance at Vegas? How well is that a predictor of how well they're going to do over the season?
It's tough to say, honestly. It's first tournament of the year. They kind of just basically most people are there to get the rust off, I would say.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there are so many players that were not in Vegas.
Yeah.
That did not play Vegas. So it's really, I think the Memorial is going to be more of that question's going to be answered.
Right. It also just shows who stayed active in the off season. Like, because I know Tristan's been doing a ton of field work, making a bunch of videos for his YouTube channel.
Which go follow that, by the way.
Yes.
Go subscribe to it.
Absolutely. But I mean, that showed. I mean, his game was sharp. He didn't make dumb mistakes. Like if he missed a shot, maybe it was a little bit of an angle miss that went OB or something like that. But he made a ton of putts. His shots were on point. Like he's sharp.
So I know that that this particular topic it's probably talked to death when it comes to players performing. But Paul Macbeth wasn't there. How does that play into someone's confident level or how they attack that particular event, knowing that he is going to play the next event? If that makes sense in that question.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again.
How does that play? How does that play into a player's mind as far as like I'm going to play Vegas?
Gotcha.
Macbeth isn't here. That means I have. I'm not saying Macbeth is going to win everything, but if Macbeth is playing, he's going to be part of the mix, right?
Yeah,
He's a threat,
of course.
So how does that play into your mind?
Except USDGC.
Except what?
This
Right,
patch.
yeah.
Just kidding.
So I mean, how does that play into your mind,
Absolutely.
knowing he's not playing here?
Gotcha.
How well did I perform at Vegas, and now how well do I have to make sure I perform at the Memorial?
Honestly, if you finished in the top, top whatever 10 even at Vegas, that's got to give you some confidence going into the Memorial. For me personally, if I was in their shoes right now, I wouldn't even I don't care who's going to be at the tournament. I just want to go there and perform the best I can do.
Yeah.
I don't care who's there. I'm not going to change my game plan just because Paul Macbeth's going to be at the tournament. I'm still going to stick to my guns and do what I can do to perform the best.
I mean, Tim Courts in the chat here says Sexton had 3 bogeys, should have been 2, but that roll on 18. He played safe on 18, and it just rolled forever into the like it was ridiculous. But I think probably the best, probably the most impressive thing I saw from Sexton this weekend is how you can operate at such a high efficiency of your skill, right? Sexton is an incredibly skilled disc golfer. Good thrower, good forehand thrower, good putter, smart decision maker, and he just did all those things nearly to perfection this weekend. He's not throwing over 550, probably. His forehand isn't the longest in the world, but it is one of the most consistent, and he just showed like you can take that skill set to any place.
And it kind of seems like we're saying, wow, he came out of nowhere. Sexton's a baller.
Oh,
like,
he has
won
been
USDGC. I heard him say that this was his third biggest win, I believe, or something like that. So I'm not sure what the other one was. I know USDGC is obviously one of them. I'm not too sure what the other, maybe an NT or something that he won or a Pro Tour, but we're not taking anything away from Nate Sexton. Any event he's at, he could win.
Heck yeah.
We get another super chat?
Yeah, Alex Eubanks, another $5. He said, thanks, played the course once like 5 years ago, but it changed from what I was told. Thanks, guys. I will update after the event. Alex, we appreciate the 10 and the 5. We look forward to hearing about how that event goes for you.
Yeah. Nice. All right, guys, so let's jump into the meat of the matter, and that is disc golf questions. As always, you can go to discgolfanswerman.com, submit your disc golf question, and we will get it on the air, or at least it will be in the queue for us to get on the air. This first one is from Holland about match play. Can we play in both the singles and doubles for match play? And when will the women's doubles registration open? Do we know if that's been decided on yet?
I'm pretty sure it's been decided that it's happening, but I don't know that it's been determined as to when it's happening.
Correct.
But yes, you can play both.
You can play both. All right, cool.
Quick $2 super chat, Ryan Cobb. He says must play courses around Oklahoma City.
Ooh.
Have you played much there?
I haven't in a very long time. The only course that comes to mind in OKC is Delisi Park. I think that's what it's called. It's kind of an older school course. However, if you go east a little bit, probably an hour or so east of there in Durant, Oklahoma is a course I just designed. And tees are in, baskets are in, and it's definitely a must play.
Dope.
Gotcha. All right, the next one is from Father Crush. He wants to know about mental game. Hey, guys, Robert, you ask a question to every player you interview on the call that I am interested in hearing your answer.
Nice.
And Bobby and Eric and whoever else may be visiting.
Let's get it.
When it comes to your mental game, what do you do well?
Nice. I'm going to let you guys answer because
Cry.
I ask the questions around here on the
call. Mentally, what do I do well? Not give a no. No, teasing. I guess the biggest lesson that I've learned from playing and watching the pros is, I mean, we've said it over and over again, is that if you have a bad shot, or your next shot is the most important shot, right? If that shot goes well, celebrate, awesome, think about what you did well, and then guess what? The next hole is the next shot. That now becomes the most important shot. If on that one shot you did poorly, figure out what went wrong, adjust, and guess what? The next shot is now the most important shot.
It's true.
What do you think there?
For me, I think the best part about my personal game, and as far as the mental side goes, if you see me on the course, you don't know how I'm playing.
Right.
That's kind of how I try to hold myself to that level of, if I'm killing it, you don't know. If I'm playing like garbage, you don't know. Just trying to keep my spirits the same and just stay focused through the whole round. So that's kind of one thing that I like to do for myself during the round.
Yeah, that's kind of like it's almost fake it till you make it if you're not playing well.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that like with your body language, the way that you carry yourself, if your shoulders are back, if your chin is up, like you're feeling good. Even if you're not playing well and you carry yourself that way, it's going to tend to make you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, I've always said before, like, how do you play with confidence? How do you get confident if you're not playing well? Well, you get confident by playing well, but how do you play well? We have to be confident.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of a chicken and an egg thing, but the more that you present yourself outwardly as being confident and like you're playing well, the more likely you are to do it.
Yep.
For me, I would say there's a couple of things I think mentally that I do well. One is, especially when I'm putting, I stick to my routine really strictly. And that's whether I'm putting from 10 feet or from 50 feet. I've chosen a routine that works for me. I do it the same way every time, and I think that gives me a better chance to make putts because they feel that no one putt feels more important than the other. It's just this is a putt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to focus intently on the length that I'm aiming at and all that. So I would say sticking to my routine is a big one, and then the other would be, for whatever reason, I'll get to where I'll go on streaks, right? I'll get to birdie 6 in a row or 7 in a row or something at the end of rounds to like save what was otherwise a pretty mediocre round.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the mental attitude that it takes to do that is one where you don't get too overhyped, and then you don't kind of down yourself if you miss a shot. It's just about kind of like you said, Eric, playing pretty even keel. If I throw a bad tee shot and it gives me a 60-footer, I haven't counted out that hole as a bad hole. I still think, hey, I have a putt,
Yeah.
And so kind of being optimistic about that, but not thinking I have to birdie all these to get in at 7 under or whatever it is. I just think that goes back to the routine.
Yeah,
I don't think this is for 1 under. I don't think it's for 2 under. I'm just thinking like, this is a putt.
Yeah, and not knowing the score is something I strive on, actually. Not having to know the score, like, oh, I've got 8 holes to go and I've got to birdie 4 of them.
Right.
I don't like to
play
want
that
to know
game.
that. I just want to play.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so I know it's really early to mention this, but takes some planning on a lot of people's part. But we're going to do another cruise in 2021, Sailing the Seas with Dynamic Discs. The dates have been booked January 14th through 18th. It is a 4-night Carnival cruise, a Bahamian cruise. We're going to go to the Bahamas. So we won't get into a lot of details this time or this early, but I want to make sure that you are aware that it is happening if you plan to go. You can go on Facebook and search for Sailing the Seas with Dynamic Discs 2021. Join that event page, and that way you're up to date on all the deadlines of when to get signed up. It's going to be a fantastic time again. All right, so back to the questions. This one is from the Indiana Banana.
Oh, well.
Okay.
He's asking about beating in a disc. Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man fam, when you say a disc is beat in, does that mean it begins to fly the opposite of how it flies out of the box? Or do all discs break in the same direction of stability? Meaning, does an understable disc, like a Maverick, beat in to be more stable or overstable, and overstable discs, like a Bard, beat in to be more stable/understable? If that is the case, how do stable discs, like a Convict, beat in? Finally, to wrap it up, when people say this is becoming too flippy, can you explain exactly what that means? So first of all,
Good grief. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
If you started with an understable disc and the
And it
more that
got
it beat up, it got more overstable.
Yeah. So no, it is not when we say something gets beat in, it doesn't become the opposite of what it was as far as stability.
Unless it's overstable.
Right.
Obviously.
Right. I mean,
But
yes, but that it's in general that's not the rule. The rule is not that it
Definitely
becomes the
not.
opposite of what it is.
definitely not. Because if you got like a, let's say an enforcer, and it's beat in, it may fly straight.
Right.
Like I have a beat enforcer in my bag that's been there for probably 5 years. 5 years. That's a long time. And
Sure
this
is.
disc still goes straight and finishes left at the end of the flight. Every time I throw it, it's amazing. So it definitely varies on the disc. So just because we say something is beat in, when I say a disc is beat in, I'm more saying that it's like right where I want it to be.
Yeah.
You know, it's seasoned, so to
It's
speak.
like ideal.
Yes, it's exactly how I want it to fly. Not necessarily, it's not brand new, it's not flipping over too much. Beat in to me is the just the perfect seasoned disc.
Yeah, so it's not that it does the opposite of what it was going to do. It becomes more understable.
Maybe this isn't a good way to explain it, but this is how it makes sense in my mind. It's just that remember, guys, this is plastic. This is a material that changes every time it hits the ground. Not dramatic changes, but something happens to the material when it hits a tree, it hits the ground. Every time it's thrown, it hits the ground. Now, obviously, the changes will be so minimal that you won't even notice them, except over time. It's going to the changes are going to compound over time, and so it's going to change the shape and it's going to affect it. Think of it like a brand new pair of shoes. They always say it's not a good idea to wear a brand new pair of shoes for a long time because they're in a certain shape, and when you put your foot in there, it's going to kind of the shape is going to change a little bit to where it feels a little more comfortable. And to me, that's kind of what it is when a disc is beat in to where you like it. It's just been shaped and formed by all the hits and nicks and throws and everything to where what people like. Yeah, I mean that's
pretty much it.
Yeah, it's just the way to look at it. Now, okay, so back to his second part of his question is, so what does it mean when someone says this disc is getting too flippy?
It just means too understable.
Yeah.
Flippy and understable are kind of one and the same as far as just definitions go. But yeah,
For me, it's a disc that you can't rely on anymore.
Yeah, it flips to the right.
And I think
If you're
maybe
throwing right-hand
that's
backhand.
just like a lot of jargon in disc golf is that everybody has a different meaning to them.
Sure.
Like for you to say
Absolutely
something
it
is
does.
too flippy, you're thinking it's unreliable. Someone might want their disc that they sort of like to fly, but they want it to flip up a little bit more, and it's flippy the way they like it.
You're absolutely right. It's kind of like where you learned how to play. I mean, for years, I used to say around here, it would be, man, that disc is stable. To me,
And that was overstable.
and that was super overstable, right? And that now stable means it just flies straight,
Right.
which is so bizarre.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just crazy on where you live on what terminology means what.
Yeah. So, but good question then.
Doc Zen donated $2 on Super Chat. He wants to know, is Disc Golf Answer Man only going to be shot now on a boat?
I'm interested.
You want to put us on a boat, Doxson? We will record it on a boat.
Continue with the $2 Super Chats in perpetuity.
Right.
And we will buy a boat
In
and shoot every episode.
40
Every
years we'll
day,
be there.
every hour on the hour. And we could probably get us
We
a
can
nice
just do
boat.
an episode from my boat, guys.
Dang.
It's the same thing.
Thanks for the $2, Doc.
Anyway. All right, let's check in with Speak Pipe. What do we got for Speak Pipe?
Excuse me.
Excuse you.
We have quite a few. The first one is going to be coming to us from Jesse.
Jesse or his girl?
Howdy, gang. My name's Jesse, and I'm
And the
calling in with
Rippers.
a putting question. I kind of have a hybrid style, in between a spin and a push putt. I would kind of say it's similar to Calvin Heimberg's. At least in my opinion, it's a spin putt, but has a like a pendulum motion to it, if I remember correctly. And I typically end up missing high when I do. It does feel to be on target, center chains, just right over the basket, or even hitting the rim, the top portion of the basket. So I was wondering if you guys had any advice. I do recall, I think, an interview with him where he mentioned, sorry if you can hear my dog, he mentioned that he aims low because he ends up missing high, which I've tried, but for whatever reason, my body isn't in line with that. I don't know if it's lack of practice, or just the mental aspect of trying to aim low on the basket for fear of missing low. Just wondering if you guys had any advice on that type of issue when it comes to putting.
Here it is. First things first. Calvin said he used to miss more putts low than any other player, so he started just aiming at the band and it goes in. So it's the opposite of what you're talking about. You say you miss high often. His was that he misses low, but either way, if you're missing high, I think the first thing for you to do is adjust your aiming point. I know that that's a ridiculously simple solution, but when I'm missing putts low, I will take the link that I normally look at, which is like, I don't know, maybe like 6 or 7 links from the bottom of the basket where I can see. If I'm missing low, I'll just aim a little bit higher and see if that doesn't help me. That's what I would do if I'm missing too high. Ensure that you're not, like that your weight isn't back when you're putting. Ensure that you have good weight transfer, and if that's the case, pick a little bit lower aiming point. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Calvin he's got a pretty unique putt, I would say, and he's also very, 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 very tall.
Quite.
So, I don't know how tall our caller is, but yeah, I would say that's really, if you're missing high, it just logic says to aim a little bit lower, or possibly even change up your putting technique a little bit, and the way to get better is obviously more practice.
Yep.
Just spending more and more time at the practice basket, really dialing in your form and figuring out what works for you and what's comfortable to you.
Yeah. But I wouldn't go so far as to make yourself start missing low, because if you're missing high, at least there's a chance for the disc to go in the basket. Like it was at some point high enough to go in.
Sure.
So yes, you still want to make it, but if you have to choose between missing high or missing low, like missing high, sometimes that hits the band and elevators in or something like that.
Cool. All right, well, we have an exciting new release Thursday coming up here in the next couple days. We have some Team Series discs. First one we're going to go over is Nico's Westside Disc Fortress. Our YouTubers get the luxury of seeing these beautiful colors. If you are listening to this on audio, I am so sorry. You need to go.
You can hear these colors, can't you?
Can't you? Yeah, can you? Hi. Here, let me see if they can hear it. That's a beautiful orange.
That one was orange.
If anything, that's the most beautiful orange I've ever heard. No, but anyway, this is a Westside disc. This is a VIP X Fortress for Nico. It's one of the discs that he wanted to check out in the X plastic. Tell us a little bit about the way this will throw for people, Eric.
It is going to throw for most people very overstable.
Very overstable.
Very overstable. I grabbed one and went out and was throwing with it a little bit. Actually, it's kind of funny. The first time I ever threw it was Jones West, hole number 1, and I hit the band.
Oh, wow.
Almost went in. I was like,
how far is that?
Like 950 feet, give or take.
It's not super far. It's just like a Spikeiser on the corner where
gotcha.
you want something to get down quick.
Gotcha.
I just threw it flat, and it just said, no, I'm going to go left. So for most players, just so you guys are aware, Nico mashes everything on an Anheuser line. Just super raw power, mashes it left, and wants it to come back. He does very well with these discs. And for me, I think it's going to be a fantastic disc for a lot of people that's going to hold up in a lot of headwind shots, or it's super flat, so a nice forehand line, anything like that. For me, it's just a very, very overstable disc that is definitely has a use in my bag.
It has the beef.
Like I said, that one's coming out the 27th of February. We'll go over the other 2 team discs here after a couple more questions. This one's from Josh. Disc lie in doubles format. In a doubles format, your teammate has already played from where the disc landed without placing a mini. Can he then place the mini on the lie and pick up the disc for your shot?
Ooh. I've heard that you can't do this because it's technically reestablishing a new lie when you mark it. So technically you're playing from a different lie.
Huh, I never thought about that.
Yeah, once you've thrown from it, whether you marked it or not, that's your lie.
So if my partner, without consulting me, throws, and I'm like, yeah, that was the disc I wanted to throw,
Can't throw that one,
can't
bro.
throw that one, huh?
Nope.
So then you go punch your partner?
Yeah.
Okay.
You say, you're out of here. If it's like an unsanctioned thing and you're just having fun, sure.
League.
Switch it up.
Whatever.
But if it's sanctioned, nah, bro.
All right. This next one is from Drew. It's about putting grip. Thanks for answering my previous question about disc limits and pay to play. I have a different question today about putting grip. I have always used a fan grip for putting, but I've noticed that further from the basket, near circle's edge, I tend to lose grip and then the disc moves in my hand. Looking at Robert's putting tips on Physics of Flight, I started to modify my grip by gripping with the pinky and ring finger and fanning the rest. It feels really nice and comfy. And the disc doesn't slip. But I've noticed that the disc wobbles pretty badly out of my hand. Do you think that the wobbles will decrease as it gets more familiar and my release improves? Or should I go back to the fan? And just in case if you're listening or watching and you haven't watched any of the Physics of Flight, I highly recommend you go to our YouTube channel, search Physics of Flight, and you've got a plethora of excellent disc golf tutorials on all kinds of topics that Danny heads up and produces those videos, does an excellent job. So to his question, Robert.
So Eric
if
was
it's
just
wobbling,
Eric was just holding the disc between his ring finger and pinky finger, and I could understand how that would wobble if you put it like this. But if what you're talking about, which is what I assume you're talking about, is gripping the disc with your ring finger and pinky on the inside rim and then fanning the other ones, man, putting. I feel like putting grips are even more unique than throwing grips. You could have, anywhere from a full-on power grip to as fanned out as you could ever need to having your finger on the rim. I think there's all sorts of different things that can work for you when you're actually putting. So I would say if you found something that feels comfortable, stick with that. And there's a very good chance, like you said, that wobble will start to go away as it becomes more comfortable to you.
Who cares if it wobbles if it goes in?
Heck yeah. Look at Jay Redding.
Yeah, one of the best putters in the game, and his looks like a wounded duck flying at the basket, but it goes in.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, that's not how I hold my putter, and that's not how a lot of people hold their putter, but if it works, it works.
Yeah. Like you said, there's a lot of different variations of grip.
Yeah.
As far as putters go, there's not really a right or wrong way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's true.
Other than the gripping it between your pinky and ring finger, that is probably
the way I was doing it.
Yes.
All right, let's check out another speak pipe. What do you got, Anthony?
We got one coming from Max.
What is up, guys? It's Max again with, shockingly, another question about the Raider. You may have heard my question either right before this or a couple before, but it doesn't matter. But my question is, I currently throw the Raider, the Defender, and the Enforcer because I currently live up here in Illinois. The winds can be kind of nuts, as you know. My guess is both of y'all have played up here, probably towards more Peoria. But yeah, I want to simplify the molds, and I feel like, Eric, you can respect that as a man who likes to have the simplest molds he can have. And I want to know that if the Metallic Lucid or the Lucid Moonshine Raider would kind of fill the slot where my Fusion Defender is. I feel like that would help me keep more consistency. Instead of going from mold to mold, it's just one singular mold throughout if possible. I would just love any advice you guys have on that. My Enforcer is a Lucid X Zach Mountain Enforcer. That thing is just the beefiest of all beef hooks. Yes. And it's for when the headwinds want to make me fall backwards. So that one's just going to stay because you always need that disc, especially living up here. So any advice you guys have on those two plastics or any other plastic for the Raider that I don't know about, that'd be awesome. Thanks, guys. Stay sweet.
For me, I carry, honestly, 4 different plastics of Raider.
Nice.
Yes. The Biofusion, which is, it beats in a little bit quicker, but I get maximum distance out of it. Yes. Or if I need something to just hold that right side and just continue. The Fusion, the Proto Fusion, that I still have that one in the bag. Lucid, which is kind of my beefy, but my most overstable is the Chameleon one that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we did a release of Pro Worlds this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're still on the website.
Yes.
Fundraisers for Pro Worlds, so win-win. But those came out super domey, and they are the most overstable that I've thrown. So that's kind of the 4 I use, and it pretty much has taken the Ballista Pros out. I've still got one in there just in case, just for wide open bomber distance. But for the most part, yeah, just those 4 have been fantastic for me.
I would say the two that he mentioned, the Moonshine and the Chameleon or Lucid X or
I don't.
Chameleon
we
Lucid
don't
X.
have any
We haven't
Lucid
done that
X,
yet, but
so.
but the Chameleon ones came out very
Mhm.
poppy and overstable, similar to Lucid X. I'd say either one of those is probably a good substitute for a defender.
Yeah, and the Moonshine is going to fly pretty similar to those super domey Lucid guys.
Yep.
Pretty similar.
Yeah, looks like I looked it up on dynamicdisc.com. Just search for Raider, and you'll find the Lucid Chameleon Raider 2020 Pro Worlds Championships fundraiser.
They look sweet, too.
Yeah, some cool
Yeah.
stamps and cool colors on
Looks
them.
like there's some 174 and 175s left, so check those out if you are interested in a.
And it supports Pro Worlds.
Yes. Another event that's coming up that we're super excited to tell you guys about is the 2020 Meyer Lake Classic. This is a unique in that. Is it your first Alaska course?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so it's a first course
and only course I've designed in Alaska.
in Alaska. Not your last.
No,
We'll see if we can get some more out there.
not my Alaska.
But they are so excited over there that they want us to come out and help get things going with an event out there. That's going to take place. The actual event dates of players, July 18th and 19th. But when you go to Disc Golf Scene and look up Meyer, Meier Lake Classic, you'll find that some activities start on July 15th, including some clinics that will be put on there. So if you are inclined to head out to Alaska for a disc golf, you know what I've noticed? A lot of people are doing that. They're going on like these disc golf adventures
Bucket
where they
list trips.
where they travel somewhere to play disc golf. And this is going to be one of those unique events that you play in Alaska, especially one of the events starts at 10 p.m. because of the way the daylight works there. We're going to be able to play some disc golf starting at 10 p.m. So that's going to be super exciting. You can go. There's a Facebook event page if you want to give more information, or look up Meyer Lake Classic on Disc Golf Scene and get some more information there and get yourself signed up. And we will, me, Eric, Steve-O, Doug Bjerkes, Paige Shoes going out there.
Denise, Noemi, Anthony.
Yeah.
So we're going to have quite the crew
Yeah,
out
quite
there.
the DD crew to come out and have a good time.
And if you want to stay, you can stay on location, too.
Oh, that's right.
There's options for that as well, so you don't have to worry about where am I going to stay and all this fun stuff. But it's definitely going to be worth the trip.
Yeah.
As we were talking about discs, we have a $2 super chat.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess this is A. Langner 9, or it's Alan Gner. I think it's A. Langner. Anyway, he said, I worked 26 hours overtime last week to buy more discs. That's commitment.
That is total commitment.
And you're doing it at the perfect time with the Team Series discs coming out.
Yes.
Because they get.
Let's get one more question in, and then we'll move on to the next Team Series disc that comes out this Thursday. This one's from Creighton. Should the winner of Advance... Oh, this is the subject. He's not even at the question yet. The subject is, should the winner of Advance get more money than the winner of a lower division despite having fewer players in that division? That's the subject. The question, which he's actually giving a reason for his question.
It just says thanks.
I've played a few tournaments where my division has less people in it than the rec division. However, the rec player got more in disc golf money compared to the winner of intermediate or advanced because they had less players in their divisions. Do you think this is a good policy? To me, it would seem more advantageous to have the winner of advanced get more than rec because it would promote moving up as you progress.
Okay. So here's a counterpoint to that. If there are 10 players in advanced and 30 players in intermediate, and the winner of intermediate beat 29 players, I think they should get more payout than the 10 advanced players. Just because you're playing a higher amateur division doesn't mean that you should automatically get more money. Now, usually it works out that way, but
if they paid half.
Yeah,
the entry
and
fee.
yeah. Now, if they paid different entry fees, that's something entirely different.
Which typically between advanced and rec.
There's a little bit of a difference for sure. I understand what you're saying about motivating people to move up, but if you take all the entry fees and kind of put them into like one big pot and then allocated the biggest portion to advanced and the next biggest to intermediate and the next biggest to rec, I don't think that works well for the divisions that had more people.
Is it worth making this a hot take?
We could maybe put on the list, but no, I don't think it's like its own episode. No, I don't think we're.
That's good thought though. We'll put it on the list.
Keep thinking. Hank.
Anyway, that's where I'm at on that. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty much same. I would say. I don't know. it varies. I mean, there's other people that think all amateur divisions should be trophy only.
And
That
all
gives
their entry fees
incentives.
should go to open players.
Yeah, and that gives incentives to
We
move
are
up
two of those people.
to
No.
open.
No. I don't actually think.
I have no reason to argue any counterpoint. So
Yep.
I don't. Yeah. So, all right. So the next up in our team series discs is the Lucid X Verdict. This is Chris Clemens' signature disc. And again, YouTubers, you get to take in the beautiful colors. Let me show people yellow or pink. So for audio listeners, this is our pink.
I don't like this one little bit.
That's pink. So anyway, so Lucid X Verdict. What do you got on this one, Robert McCall?
Okay, so the Verdict is already a nice overstable mid-range, pretty good. I like that these ones have, that little bit stiffer feel that comes with the Lucid X plastic, but they're pretty flat top, which means that they're very, very comfortable, specifically in your hand for forehands. I will throw the Verdict on forehand occasionally, but I don't have an awesome forehand like Chris Clemens. I watched I don't know if you guys follow him on Instagram or Facebook or anything, but I saw he's already out at Fountain Hills practicing, and he threw a clear one of these on a lefty forehand, just on one of like the downhill par threes, and it looked pretty nice and overstable. So I would say if you like the Verdict, you're gonna like the Lucid X Verdict for that little bit extra bit of stability at the end, and a super good feel.
Yeah, they're good.
Remember, another reason to pick these up is if you want to support your favorite players.
Yeah.
Portions of these sales go directly to the team player to help them while they're on tour. So we have the Nico Westside Disc Fortress and now the Lucid X Verdict for Chris Clemens. Let's get back to our questions real quick. Let's see, this one's from Grant. Oh, disc flight numbers.
I'm excited.
Yeah. He said, "Sup, boys?"
Boy.
I was curious about what DD does in order to decide what the flight numbers are on a new mold or plastic mold combo. I'm sure a lot of our longtime listeners are taking a big sigh.
We have a hat with numbers in it, and we just pull them out.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. This one has Glide 11.
We have a monkey that goes out and throws them and then points and throws an arrow at a dartboard that has balloons. Whatever pops and the numbers in there, that's what we go.
However many balloons pop, that's the fate.
Right, that's the fate. No, he says earlier. So anyway, how are numbers really determined?
We get the discs in from Sweden. We usually they'll send over a video or technical specifications, and we'll take those into account. And then once they get here to the elevation that we play at a little bit more frequently, we'll go out and have a bunch of different people throw them at different skill levels. This year we sent them to our touring players and had them throw them. Got some feedback from them, and that's how we came up with the flight numbers. We always hear people ask if we have a robot that can throw them the same speed and the same way every single time. No, we do not. That would be cool if we did. I think that's probably we're probably a little ways out from having that sort of thing. But for the people who are testing these, for instance, Eric has thrown a ton of different discs from different companies across different eras of his life. And so he has a lot of experience saying, having thrown discs that say they are a 4 glide as opposed to a 5 or a 3 fade as opposed to a 2. And so we just kind of put our brains together and come up with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Another part of his question is that also in an earlier episode of Disc Golf Answer, you talked about how golf clubs are fitted to an individual in order to maximize performance for that individual. Do you think disc golf will be able to do the same with flight numbers, or even possibly a new system designed for maximum performance for an individual? I've never been fitted for golf clubs. I haven't played golf in probably 10 years. I don't think it works that same way. That's not a one-to-one comparison as far as flight numbers.
You're throwing something as opposed to swinging something.
Right, and when you get fitted for golf clubs, are they literally customized in what? What do you mean? What do you mean when you get fitted?
Pitch. So it's like you stand in front of a screen and you hit into it, and it has velocity and it has tons of cameras, and it judges how fast the ball comes off the club. If you're shanking it right and left, and it'll change the angles of the club to help your game.
And even use different, like if you're getting fitted for irons, they'll just use different company's iron heads, so you can
Right, so it's
Titleist
not a
or Callaway.
unique thing they made
No,
specifically
they
for
don't.
you.
They don't forge the metal
Right,
for the
that's
iron
good,
in front
yeah.
of you.
Correct.
But what they do is, and most of those iron heads are able to be bent, a few degrees in either direction, so they can strengthen the lofts or weaken the lofts. Meaning they can, set them so they fly a little bit farther and lower, or a little bit shorter and higher. Or they can adjust the lie, which is how flat to the ground the golf club is when it's sitting in front of you. So, and then they do shafts, and they do the stiffness of those shafts. There's just a lot of different options that you have in that. It's not like it. So disc golf discs, in comparison, are like an iron, like just the head of an iron. That is made from a mold. That's forged, and it's going to come out the same every time that it's used. That's what disc golf discs are like. Since there aren't as many components around it, you can test some and say that these work better for me than these other ones, but there's not specific tailoring that you could do to one disc to make it fit you better.
I'm going to start a business and have people come up, and I'm going to watch them throw, and then I'm going to bend the black plastic, and I'm going to
like
say
the Aerobie
it is-
Epic?
it is now fitted for you.
I look forward to seeing how well your business does.
Right.
Probably very well.
Probably very well, yes. So
I'll help you
maybe
establish.
we can make a commercial.
I'll help you establish authority.
Will you?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Wow, Bobby helped me gain 30 feet on my drive. See?
And I'll just have me just like
Uh-huh.
bending,
Uh-huh.
shaping, and a little bit of
No.
heat, little.
We're good here.
Okay.
I can see the dollar signs.
Are we done? Are we done?
I can see the dollar signs flowing now.
I got fitted for those clubs and I haven't even used them.
You're going to want to use those.
I know.
All right. Next question comes from Jay.
That's sick, though.
This is about the GBO Spectator badge. Hey, Disc Golf Answer fam. First off, I love the show and love what you guys are doing for our sport. So I registered for the GBO Spectator package this morning, and I've been so excited to finally make the drive out there from Nashville.
What's up?
But then I read this.
Uh-oh.
Unlike in years past, Spectator badge holders will not receive priority registration for the next GBO. This practice is now in violation of PDGA tournament standard guidelines.
Yep.
Whoa, WTF.
Whoa.
Fudge, keeping it PG, he says.
Okay.
I still plan on coming, but dang, man, I'd be lying if I said that priority registration next year wasn't a huge motivating factor for us. What's that all about? Again, love the show, and thank you so much for all you do. I love being part of Team Trilogy and representing our brand. Keep it real. Bye.
Nice.
Fantastic. Well, you can reach out to the PDGA and tell them about your frustrations.
Yeah,
with
remember,
that,
that's
'cause
not
they
us,
are the
that's
ones
PDGA.
that made us do this. If
Yeah.
it was up to us, we would continue rolling out that red carpet.
Yeah, because that was like one thing when we would promote the Spectator badge. That'd be one of the things we mentioned up front is like, hey, you get early registration. So we're
That's
just as
100% on PDGA telling us
we're
we can't
just
do
as
that.
WTF as you are. All right, let's see what do we got for Speak Pipe.
Fudge.
This is
W-
just
WT fudge.
it's just me munching on some fudge. No, this one is from Shay.
What's up, Disc Golf Audio crew? I guess you're the DGAC pack now? Anyway, this is Shay from
was
Philly with a question for EMAC.
So,
I am currently drafting a proposal for my city to install a 9-hole red-green level course in a local park, and I wanted to ask what you think some key points are that I should address. I have so far addressed fundraising, community benefits, health benefits, safety benefits. Is there anything else you think I should address to make this proposal solid? Thanks for the info, and as always, keep it real.
fantastic.
I guess
yeah.
you're the DGAC pack EMAC.
DGAC Pack EMAC. So,
Dang it.
all of those are fantastic items to have listed. If you want to reach out to me, I'd be happy to send you a couple other items that we kind of send out to people or cities or golf courses looking to put in our courses. Shoot me an email, mccabe@dynamicdiscs.com, and I'd be happy to send you over some more information that you can take to the city
Nice.
and kind of possibly give a little more information to them.
You know, that's interesting that he said 9-hole course because that's
Mhm.
something that Jeremy really wants to drive home to people is that if you're excited about having a disc golf course in your area, you don't have to be full-blown champion level 2 18-hole courses.
Nope.
You can get a 9-hole course and still build a disc golf community, or
Absolutely.
at least the beginnings of a disc golf
Well,
community.
I mean, not even the beginnings. Look at Emporia. What's our most popular course?
yeah,
in town?
the Hammond course,
Park,
yeah, Hammond
or
Park.
even the church course.
Yeah,
New Life. Yes.
Life.
yeah.
New
Both
Life.
of those courses have been the most popular courses in town, and they are the easiest courses in town.
Correct.
2
Obviously,
9-holers.
9 holes does not take up as much space as 18
Mhm.
holes, so there's more possibilities there, and so a city government or a chamber or something might be able to get behind something like that much quicker than 18 holes. So don't dismiss getting just a 9-hole course to get disc golf in your area.
Yeah. On the chat board, Chris Carpenter said Tristan Tanner learned on our 9-hole courses here in Longmont, Colorado. Colton Montgomery too. Yeah, so I mean, this is a great place for players to get their start.
Play on 9-hole courses and get featured on disc golf tournament coverage.
It's that easy.
Wow.
The story writes itself.
Point A, point B,
Maybe-
right there.
Maybe put in 2 9-hole courses if you got room for it, though.
Okay, but maybe, yeah. Yeah. All right, let's go back to the questions. Dusty asks has a question about a courtesy rule. When playing in a tourney, I have seen some people make their putt and then start walking to the next tee pad before the rest of the card is finished putting. I've even seen some hurry up and tap in before the others are ready to make their longer putts and then start walking to the next tee.
That frustrates me more than anything.
This has never set well with me. It is one, or is it? I'm sorry. Is it 1, no big deal, 2, just common etiquette foul, 3, a courtesy violation since you're not watching your player, watching your playing partner's shots. Playing partner's shots, yeah.
All of the above.
Pretty much all the above. It is improper etiquette. It's outright rude sometimes, especially if you're in the tense or in the midst of a tournament and everybody's like wanting to do well and you kind of mess up the feng shui. So no, it's not that it's not a big deal.
You know what irritates me a lot
What?
is somebody that walks up and taps out their birdie and walks away when you still have like a 30-footer for your par. Even if it's speed of
yeah.
play rules, because there is
Hateful.
speed of play. If you're not set up and ready to go, I can tap out. That's fine. But it's just frustrating.
I would say the courteous thing would do was to ask.
Yeah. Hey, you care if I tap? Which you're supposed to.
Always.
Technically, you're supposed to say, hey, can I tap out?
And then typically people will say, yeah, go for it because you've taken the time to ask.
Mhm.
I don't know that I've ever been videoing an event or a tournament where someone asked and the other person said, no, let me putt first.
I'm going to do that next time. I'm going to make a point to do that
You're
next
gonna,
time.
you're gonna make
Tap?
sure I'm around. Where's Bobby? Bobby!
I
No.
told
No.
No.
Uh-uh.
Get that out of here.
I'll call you if I have to.
Bobby, I did it.
So anyway, no, they need to ask. They need to not do it. And, yeah, that's not
Or
good.
if they putt and miss and then walk up and tap it out and then move.
I can think of a
that's
couple
another one,
people
too.
that did
Oh,
that
there-
quite a bit,
yeah.
like well-known players. That,
I see it on footage all the time.
yeah. This is from Grant again. The subject says, why they do that.
Why they do that?
Why they do that?
Hey, you seen this?
New section on the show. New segment on the show. Hey,
Why they do that?
why they do that?
New Sexton on the show?
Yes,
Is that-
new section.
I,
New
I like
section
why
on the
they
That's
do
his
that.
segment.
Yeah.
All right, he says, hey, Disc Golf Answerman crew, I was watching the 2020 Las Vegas Challenge footage and saw the bunkers were OB. Hey, why they do that?
Why they do that?
Kind of OB. They're a weird OB though.
I like to avoid your goofy bits most of the time, but I'm in on this one, Bobby. I'm all in.
Wait, you like to? That's it. I'm going full force with my goofy bits.
No,
We're out.
don't go
We're
full
out,
force
right?
because I
We're
All
on the
my
same
bits.
page, Anthony.
All my
Right?
goofy
Yeah.
bits.
Right.
Ha,
Oh, you gotta turn me back
You
on.
got muted. Anyway.
That reminds me of the guy from Saturday Night Live, the heavyset black dude. He used to do
Tracy Morgan?
No, he's not. that
ki-
heavy. He kind of is now. But
he used to do the Happy Burger or
yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Keenan? Are you
would
talking
be
about
Good
Good Burger?
Good Burger. That's what it
That's
is.
Keenan and Kel.
Okay, so he's
Kenan
on
Thompson.
SNL now.
Yeah, Keenan Thompson.
But he used to do what up with that? What up with that?
What?
Oh,
What's up with that?
That ain't him.
What up with that?
That is somebody else completely, isn't
No,
it?
Wow.
that's him.
Wow, inadvertent racism.
You,
Completely
said
different.
any
You
kind
heard
of
it.
race.
You heard it here first on Disc Golf Answer Man.
How's that kind of any
What's
kind
that
of?
guy's
Bobby
name?
is having trouble identifying different African American gentlemen.
I don't know that.
It
That's,
is that
JK.
person because I used to watch it all the time because
No.
he dances he's like, "What up with that? What?" Anyway, okay,
Nope.
we are off the
What
road.
did you say his name
JK.
was? No, I want to know this.
What is? I don't know his name.
Keenan Thompson was on Keenan and Kel.
That is not him.
That
Sorry.
is to him.
No.
Show me. I'm not talking about the skinnier one. I'm talking about the heavier
I
set
know
one.
who you're talking about.
The heavier set one's name of Keenan and Kel is Keenan Thompson.
Okay, so Keenan Thompson SNL
Go on.
has a segment. What up with
Go
that?
on.
Daniel Kell loves orange soda.
All right. Anyway, so the question is,
Right,
hang on.
right?
According to Google, if you Google "what up with that,"
It does come right
Keenan
up.
Thompson comes up.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
you are
you.
accurate. I
Take
didn't
back-
know his name.
take back the racist remarks.
No, they're still racist.
I do not take them back. I stand by them.
All right. Anyway, back to his question. I was watching the 2020 Las Vegas Challenge and saw the bunkers were OB. What caught my eye, though, is when a player's disc landed in the sand, they played from that lie, which was OB.
What?
Yep.
Doesn't this go against the rule 802.07.A.3, or is this an exception? Or is there an exception rule somewhere? Keep it real, bite.
I think there's an asterisk next to it that just says Innova. And I only say that.
And a double asterisk that says, "Why they do that?"
Why did you do that?
And I only say
We don't know
that-
why we do
No,
that.
I don't say that crap. The only reason I say that is because of this event and USTGC are the two that come to mind that do
They
this.
do the bunker rule.
I think maybe Ledgestone does too.
They haven't in the last couple of years.
No, okay. But it's a bunker.
They play it
rule
as a hazard,
is
yeah.
what they call it. It's a hazard. It's not technically out of bounds. You take a stroke penalty and play from there. At Emporia Country Club, how we play it is just normal OB. So if you throw in the bunker, typically you take it from where it last went out with your penalty stroke, normal OB. I'm okay with it, I think. The only thing I'm not necessarily okay with is how close some of those bunkers are to the greens. That's one thing I don't really care for, and most of the time it's like a death slope to the green or to the bunker, so it's like just a bunch of layups, or if you go for it, you land in it, and then you're penalized. I liked the idea of a bunker being in 380 to 390 foot in the middle of a fairway, that if you land in, it's not OB, but you have to play out of it. So if you still have like a 180 to 200 foot approach, you've got to deal with sand and all that. That's something I could get on board with. I don't know if I'm necessarily on board with how close they are to greens and it being just a weird hazard rule.
Interesting.
I don't know if I've played a tournament that uses sand bunkers as hazards. I've obviously seen them, but I don't know if I've played in one.
I played Vegas, that layout that they did that at.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of fine with it. I don't like them being super close to the basket either, but I also understand that, especially on the Vegas courses, the only real terrain variances they have to work with are rolling hills, a few trees, and bunkers.
Yeah.
And so I understand putting baskets close to them to try and make
Absolutely.
them more difficult.
And I'm perfectly fine with it occasionally. I just don't like to see it repetitive.
Yeah.
But I will say hats off to them because they did a fantastic job with the tournament. The layout looked amazing. The first year I went, I wasn't thrilled with the layout, but they've done a lot of upgrades. They put in tees. Those turf tees look amazing, and the courses just look fun. They really do.
Yeah.
They honestly do look like fun.
100%.
All right. We are about to wrap up the show. Well, we got one more speak pipe we're going to do. What's that last speak pipe, Anthony?
We've got one more this week coming to us from Barry.
This past weekend at our charity tournament, one of our players suffered a heart attack and passed away. He was only 43 years old.
What?
Players jumped into action immediately by calling 911 and starting CPR until the ambulance arrived. It was delayed because there were issues with not knowing the address of the course and info on the player. This was in Indiana and the player was from Ohio. It was a very difficult day for all of us, and some were not able to continue the tournament. The PDGA said it was the first death in a tournament ever. This difficult situation has sparked a lot of discussion and ideas on how we can all be better prepared for emergencies on the course. As a TD, I've ordered emergency contact cards with waterproof holders to pass out to my club so they can attach them to their carts and bags, and I know others are doing the same. I travel out of state to a lot of tournaments where no one knows me, so having important information like allergies, current medications, any medical conditions, emergency contact info are all critical. Some are advocating for each course to have an AED. At $1,500 to $2,000, I'm not sure how viable this is for most clubs. The important thing is we start discussing the issue and come up with solutions to try to prevent this from ever occurring again. We have more and more players in their 50s and 60s and beyond with various health issues where this could happen to anyone. Even falls or other events can happen at any time. I know I've been attacked by a swarm of yellow jackets that were in the ground under my disc. If I'd been allergic, it could have been much worse. Please get this message out so the disc golf community can come up with viable solutions. And thanks for all you do.
Jeez. Wow.
Dang, brutal.
Wow. Heart goes out to the family of that person. That's tragic.
Yeah.
I mean, I think giving those identification cards, great idea.
Yeah.
And or even if you don't get it from that tournament, having one on your bag just so if something happens.
Well, especially if you're, I mean, I don't necessarily think everybody needs to do that, but
Sure.
obviously if you are on some type of medication or you do have a lot of severe allergies to whatever,
Yeah.
that is absolutely something
Dang.
smart to have on you.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Well, good on you for doing that. And yeah, like you said, heart goes out to the family.
Yeah, that's
Life's short, man.
it's crazy.
Whew. All right. Well, sorry to end on
We should end on a really
note.
good
Oh,
note.
yes.
Talk about this disc.
We got one more disc to talk about before we take off. We have our last of the 3 Team Series discs that is coming out this Thursday, the 27th. And this is AJ Rizley's Lucid X Warden. And I know a lot of people are excited about this. Of course, AJ Rizley fell in love with the Warden from the day he started throwing our plastics. He had the Waffle Warden that was super popular. Sold out a few times when we were able to produce those. And I know he is super pumped now that we have the Lucid X Warden. So, Robert, I know you're probably not too excited about this disc.
No.
You're probably unfamiliar with its flight and things like that. But just take a stab at why the Lucid X Warden would be good.
I'm going to go completely uninformed opinion here.
Correct.
When you throw the Warden and it's going so straight, you always think, why'd I do that? I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. Okay. What I love about the Lucid X Wardens is, so we started coming out with premium Wardens a little while back. And sometimes they'll have this kind of flatter top or they'll have a little bit of dome to them. The Waffle Wardens had kind of a higher shoulder. So they weren't really domey, but they felt taller than these. These Lucid X Wardens remind me of the first batch of Lucid X Wardens that we came out with. That
Lucid
were,
Wardens, not Lucid.
Sorry, Lucid Wardens. My apologies. These Lucid X Wardens remind me of the first batch of Lucid Wardens.
Yes.
Of the first batch of Lucid X, because I'm holding the first batch of Lucid Wardens, because they're flatter on top. They have a little bit shorter shoulder, so it still has good depth to it, but it's not super duper deep in your hand. Man, these just feel so good to me. The
And they're
Warden
relatively
is
flat too.
These are, yeah,
Yeah.
they're great. These are just straight as an arrow. Good torque resistance because of the disc, but also a little bit extra because of the Lucid X plastic. Really, really straight. A little bit of fade at the end. If you want it to go to the left, start on a hyzer. If you want it to go straight, throw it flat. If you want to turn it over, start it on an hyzer. And it's just a line holding kind of disc.
It is. It's a point and shoot.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
love.
Have you had much
these
time
discs.
throwing them?
I bought one today, and
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to throw it yet.
It's been fantastic. I've had one for a week or two now in the bag and just trying it out, testing it out, and it really is. It just flies pretty much wherever I put it. If I need it to turn to the right, it will. If I need it to hyzer, it will. If I need it to go straight, it will. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, these are they're good, and they feel super good.
They really do.
Thanks, AJ. Please stop that.
Why?
Can you guess what color?
For our audio listeners, if that sounds familiar, that's because it's a color orange again.
Why you do that?
So, hey, why you do that? So, yeah, like I said, all 3 of these, the VIP-X Westside Disc Fortress, Nico's VIP-X Team Series Disc, the Lucid X Verdict from Chris Clemens, his 2020 Series Disc, and the Lucid X Warden for AJ Rizley, all available Thursday, the 27th at 11 a.m. Now, they have been available in stores. We were so excited about these discs that when our stores received them, we said, sell them in your store and then push them out online. Some people may already have these.
A lot of people do, probably.
And but online, if you're an online shopper, then they will be available for you. If we sell out on our
Get that
online
clicker
store,
ready.
make sure you check the other retailers to see if they have it.
Yeah, I
Cool.
went over to check the retail store when I bought mine today, and I mean, there's a lot over there, but it's not like.
Not like lot.
I mean, you're gonna need to be ready at 11 to make
Well, they're
sure you
gone
get one
off
of
the
these.
shelves here, so
Yeah.
All right, so for our YouTubers that hung around, and then for a couple of our audio listeners that are going to have the chance, we have a little bit of a giveaway. So hang tight, listen to all the information we have here, and then we'll let you know how you can win this. But this is from, if you've been following any disc golf stuff, you've probably come across Birdie Fuel. They're making a splash into the disc golf world as disc golf coffee. They've got different coffees for people like Eric and Tina Oakley, for Chris Clemens, and of course our very own Eric McCabe and Ralph McCabe. They have two. I know Ralph's flavor is dog leg. What your flavor is? Just EMAC.
It's
Coffee Mac.
Coffee Mac. That's right, Coffee Mac. So anyway, they sent us a goodie bag, and we want to just kind of celebrate what they did for us, and want to thank them. They got for you, Mr. Eric McCabe, a Fusion Warden with a.
No, try that again.
That doesn't look like a Warden.
That is a Fusion Raider.
Raider is what I meant to say. My apologies.
Fantastic.
So for you, now for Robert, they got what feels like a classic Warden for you.
You know this.
Yes. And then for myself, I have a Fusion Escape, which is some nice. Oh, and mine and Robert's are the burst version of those plastics. So thank you, Birdie Fuel.
Yeah,
and then,
thank you guys. Super cool.
They sent some coffee for Danny and Anthony because they are coffee drinkers, so they get to try in their little Keurig machine. They have
Why you do that?
Why you do that? Some
Thank you, Anthony.
light roast Ralph and EMAC dog leg coffee. So we're going to let them try that here. And then we've got some stickers and stuff. But for you,
Can
the
I try
listeners,
the light roast with you guys, please? Thank you.
for you, the listeners, we have some good stuff. We have a Fusion tournament plastic harp with the unique combination logo of a Hand Eye and Birdie Fuel.
Looks sick.
So would this
like
logo
this
be one hand in a one? What is the saying? One bird in a hand.
A bird in the hand
bird
is
in the
worth
hand?
two in the bush.
There you go. See, so
Now you can have a bird in the hand.
now you can have a bird in the hand. And
hopefully
then
not
what else
throw
did
into the bush.
they sent?
it's true.
We also have a coffee infused mini.
A few of those.
Oh, a few of those that we're going to give away, and then some stickers in here. So there's some stickers we're going to give away in here. Yeah. So I had forgotten that there were several items. So what we're going to do? What?
Why do you have to do that touching your microphone?
Oh, sorry.
The box is brown. It's a brown color. Please stop. The box is brown.
So anyway, so what I'm going to have to do, I forgot, I didn't realize there was more than one item. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, like we've done in the past, make a giveaway link. It'll be discgolfanswerman/subscriber, right? And then in there you'll fill out your name and a mailing address, and then we'll pick some winners, and we'll do that. We'll give our audio listeners till next Friday, till this Friday.
DiscGolfAnswerman.com/subscriber.
Yes, I'm sorry, discgolfanswerman.com/subscriber. That's an old link that I used to use to do some subscriber giveaways, but that way I can put the form out there. So go out there. We'll put a link in the episode's description, and then we'll give you till the next episode. That way it'll give you time to listen and do that.
This is sick.
Isn't that nice?
I'm super excited.
So
about
thank you so much, Birdie Fuel. Make sure you follow them on Instagram. Follow them on, I believe they have a Facebook page, but definitely check out their coffee. They've got all kinds of different flavors. So thanks again, Birdie Fuel.
I'll trade you for
Make
this
sure you
right
tell them that the Disc Golf Answer Man sent
No.
you. Post something on
So
their Instagram and say, I'm here because Disc Golf Answer Man told me to come
That
here.
sounds fantastic. That's the Raider heartbeat.
Oh, dang.
Way good.
That sounds like orange. It is.
Oh, how
nice.
about that?
I recognize that.
How
All right, guys. Well, that's it for this Disc Golf Answer Man episode. Check in. We're going to be doing a Disc Golf Hot Take. YouTubers, hang tight so you can follow along. Audio listeners, wait to download it tomorrow whenever or right after you listen to this episode. It's my turn for the Disc Golf Hot Takes. You never know what we're going to talk about.
That's true.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Reviews on iTunes.
Forget that always. All right, YouTubers, hang tight. We're going to take a little bit 30-second brain break, relax, and then we're going to get to our hot take.
When are we including Anthony's skip ace picks?
Shoot. Forgot that again.
Why
That's a whole nother
we don't normally do it in the normal show. We do it in the after show.
As of right now, Anthony's picks are blank. So
Oh, so we won't
Better
do that.
get
right
after
now.
it.
I have one day to do them still. Do we want to make that part of the show? Or
Maybe
do
we
you
can
want me to
just maybe
do
we
it?
can just say something about it in the after show that this year you're competing against Anthony and we'll get review after the Memorial.
Do you want me to
What do you
just do it and then send you guys my picks?
I think we can review it. Like we can have you go through them, maybe like a 2-minute review after the event is over with. But we just need to remind people to do it.
Sure.
I almost would
Also,
rather
why you
make
do
that
that.
part of Disc Golf Answer Man.
No, that's fine with me.
Yeah. could we do it for this episode?
Well, you can't for this episode
doesn't have-
unless
he
you
doesn't have
add it
photo.
on
like
afterwards.
an addendum.
I can go in and do them now, and we can just
Addendum.
record it after, and I'll cut it in.
Okay. Let's do the hot take first. What's wrong?
Sick.
Dog leg.
Is this good?
It's
You
good.
like it?
Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna get real with you for
This
a
one-
second.
this
Remember,
one
we're
is-
live still on YouTube.
Well, yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is the one that I think you would enjoy.
See,
The coffee mac is
pretty dark.
yes, it's as dark as it gets.
Okay, so for the listeners out there, I enjoy tea a lot.
I've
I
been
enjoy-
drinking tea in the evenings
That's
at
fantastic.
night,
Yes.
like sleepy time tea.
That's a good play. But I had a little bit of coffee this weekend just when I was hanging out with my bros, and I was like, you know what? I feel like it's time. I'm an adult. I should learn to drink coffee.
You should.
So I'm gonna start off with this here light roast
Fantastic.
dog leg. Thank you, Birdie Fuel.
Fantastic. You should thank Ralph too. 'Cause
Thank you,
it's
Ralph.
Really him.
Old pup dog. You ready? Do you have your hot take?
Have you thought about it?
Can I lean back in my chair now? Yes or no? Say yes. Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Try to say no.
Good luck. Already did it.
It's already happening.
Coffee is way too much. Why do you think that, Chris?
Way too much.
Like too
what?
much caffeine, you mean?
Or price?
Ryan, there will be prizes at some point for the Disc Golf Answer Man Skip Ace League this year. We don't know what they are just yet.
It'll be like goodies from my my disc stash. A lot of times when we go, excuse me, when Danny or Anthony create reviews and stuff like that, they throw discs that are off the shelf and they'll get scuffs or something on them. But we don't want to put them back on the shelves, obviously. So we turn around and give those away. Perfectly good discs. They just they will have been thrown a handful of times. So.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Tanner, why do you feel so attacked by me? Because I lean back in my chair. Because I asked why'd I do that.
Why they do that? Hey.
Hey, that was
Why'd they
so
do that?
last episode.
Yeah, that's true.
It will be lots of future episodes.
All right, you guys ready?
Let's get it.
Ready, Anthony?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Disc Golf Hot Takes. This episode of Disc Golf Hot Takes is brought to you by the Westside Discs VIP X Chameleon Destiny. Two things are undeniable about this disc: speed and glide. This beauty really gets out there. For the higher arm speeds, a powered down throw will still get out to the great distances. For the lower arm speed, this will be your long-range bomber. Everyone can find a way to throw the Destiny. You will just have to walk a long way to go pick it up.
Dang, who wrote that?
Who wrote that? Woo! For you speed people, or numbers people, for you numbers people, speed 14, glide 6, turn -2, fade of 3. Go to dynamicdiscs.com and look up the Westside Discs VIP X Chameleon Destiny, because
Yeah.
she purdy.
They look really cool, yeah.
All right, so the Disc Golf Hot Takes. Let's explain. This is where we take one of us takes a stance on a topic. Sometimes these topics can be based on reality, or they may not. And some of them may or may not be our real opinions, but they just make for a good argument, and we like to argue. This week, it's my Disc Golf Hot Take. Are you gentlemen ready?
Yes.
Can we come up with a sound effect right before you say the hot take? It doesn't have to be this episode, but at some point. Think
Like a jingle or something?
We'll talk about it.
Okay, well, I wrote it on my notes, and I forgot to open my notes to let it. Here we go. All right, right.
Let's do it.
All right, so this is my hot take. So you know that we need to grow the sport, right?
Okay.
The PDGA could use more funding, and that comes with more people playing more sanctioned events, correct? More people, brand new people to the sport, excited about disc golf means more PDGA memberships.
Okay.
Which means more money, more funding for PDGA, which means they can put more money back into disc golf,
Sure.
right? In order to cause this growth, I think that if someone plays in the rec division in a PDGA sanctioned event, they should automatically get 5 mulligans.
Like that's part of their tournament.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
They don't have to pay anything extra. They just automatically get 5 mulligans. Though nothing ruins a rec player's day than a bad shot.
This is my favorite hot take so far.
Right?
I am getting on board right now.
Nothing ruins their experience more than a bad shot. They screw up. They never want to play again because it's a stupid game. They're new to the game and they just want out. So let's give them 5 mulligans to make their day.
Yes. Okay. Now I have a couple of clarifying questions.
Yes.
First and foremost, I'm going to say yes. I am in favor of this hot take.
Okay.
But I have a couple of clarifying questions. Okay. Number one, how do we figure ratings from this? Because
You can't.
okay, so let's say recreational, like we'd have to probably bunch recreational players together because if rec plays the same layout as advanced, advanced doesn't
You
get
can stop right there. because
Advanced
the
doesn't get
ratings
any
won't
mulligans.
matter. The ratings won't count. Period.
Why not?
Because it's unfair. You get 5 extra throws.
Right, but that's our way of saying, hey, thanks for joining us, thanks
No.
for playing, thanks
Absolutely not.
we introduce
I'm
you to disc golf,
I'm
and
out.
we say you get 5 more chances than everybody else.
The
because
only way it could work is if the ratings don't count for those rec players.
that
Because
does,
it is unfair advantage getting 5 extra throws than an intermediate player at a tournament who is
Are you
arguably
Are you
not,
telling me that?
uh,
Okay, I'm sorry. You're
who
right.
is
you're right.
arguably not much better than a rec player towards the bottom of intermediate?
Yeah. So you're saying that if you 2010 world champion
Mhm.
even know or care about what your rating was when you started out in rec, when you played a rec event? In
Well,
other words, that's
it's
going to be
different
old
for me.
news. That's
It's
going to be
different for
that's
me.
old news.
That is not no. It's different for
Eventually-
me because first off, I never played rec. We never had
Okay.
rec. I played maybe intermediate or AM2 back in the day, but we didn't have ratings back then. We didn't have ratings till I started playing pro.
That's true. I remember. Yeah.
So, what was your question?
No, my point is that who cares if a rec player's rating is good or not good because they got 5 extra throws? If they move on, the whole point is to get you excited about disc golf. So you're excited because you were able to play well. You got a good
I would
rating.
argue that the PDGA doesn't care how many people play tournaments. They care more about who's playing the sport. And as a rec player, if you're playing a tournament, if you're throwing money down to play a tournament, right? You care about the sport. So you could put on your big boy pants and take your dang bogey and move on to the next hole.
That's the attitude that's going to keep a rec player out. They're brand new to the sport. They want to just have some fun, get in there. I mean, I don't know how many times a rec player doesn't care about the rules, but now they're going to care a little bit more because they're going to have a good time.
Because they get an extra 5 throws.
Because they
during
get an
the
extra 5 throw. They get an extra. They get 5 redos just in case. Because they're trying to figure this whole thing out. They're trying to figure. They don't even. They heard
That's
the.
what
They heard the word
practice-
hyzer and they're
don't care.
like, "What hyzer? What?" I
That's
don't
what
even
the
know what that is.
practice field is for, is figuring things out.
And so now I have to just. I mean, you pay, and part of your money goes toward PDGA. So they're going to care
Absolutely it
about
is.
how many people play sanctioned
No,
events.
absolutely. They
The
do
more-
care about
That's
that.
volume.
They do care about that. Absolutely, they care because it's the Professional Disc Golf Association. So obviously, it's sanctioned by the Disc Golf
Correct.
Association. So they are making money on all of these rec players. However, it just doesn't make sense to give random players. All that's going to do is create people that not want to move up. All that's going to do is create 9 million rec players out there that are never going to move up because they get 5 extra throws. My rating's going to continue to climb because I'm getting better and better. Because I missed a 20-footer. Oh, I can make that. I get another one.
I think peer pressure and then someone's desire to
you're
move
talking
up
about
will
peer
want
pressure,
to. Yeah,
and
peer
you're
pressure
talking
to
about
go up.
somebody feeling bad about missing a putt.
Well, the peer pressure to move up so you can advance and become.
No.
I mean, you can't go to Worlds and play Rec Division and be a world champion, right? I mean, you have to eventually move up. So the people that we want to move up in the sport will matter.
The only way this works is if it's their own complete PDGA. Like, if
The
for
Mulligan
some reason
GA?
a
The
PDGA
MPGA.
split,
Yeah.
right? If they split into amateurs and professionals, that's the only way that something like that would work. Because with the rating system, all that, there's just no way that that's going to work.
Here's where I'm at.
Okay.
I think that the only way that this works, first of all, I am 100% in favor of this.
Why are you so in favor of this?
Mulligans in a sanctioned tournament sounds so great. Imagine, okay, we don't get those.
No.
And Anthony and Danny don't get those. No. And Bobby,
Dang
are you
it.
playing rec or are you playing
Sometimes I
intermediate?
play novice and Rec, but let's say I'm playing Rec
That's
for this
why
this
Bobby
scenario.
is so
See?
strongly feeling.
Dude,
towards
I'm
it.
stoked for Bobby to all right, look, Bobby misses a 15-footer, and he's like, man, come on. That's a day ruiner sometimes. But
Sure.
now you have a shot. Okay, but
It is absolutely, but everybody should deal with that.
Okay, but here it is. I don't think this can exist in a division that currently exists. right? Because I think rec serves its purpose for players who want to move up to intermediate, who want to move up to advanced, and who can hang. Like rec players can play disc golf. They're not bad, right? Mm-hmm. So I think in order for this to work, this would have to be a completely separate division, like a non-serious amateur division, and that these like people that play in this division and rating or rounds that go in this division don't get rated. I think that's the only way that this works. If those things are in place, I am 100% in favor of allowing those people extra shots because, like, I've played some golf scrambles where you can buy mulligans for $5 or $10 or something like that.
That's no different than playing like an ice bowl or
exactly. Yeah. So
that's that's completely
but
different.
It's really for fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the reason that those people are out there.
It's for fundraising.
Yes. So this is that, but along with a PDGA sanctioned event. I like that. Right? I like the idea of getting a little bit extra money in for those tournaments, getting more people playing disc golf in a fun way, and at the same time, like we see a lot of tournaments on the PDGA that are 50-person C tiers. Well, here there's 20 spots left on the course that you could have for this extra division. All I'm saying is I'm in.
But you're not in.
But not for rec. But not for rec.
You're like middle road.
No. But not for rec. No. Hold on.
I say keep it nice and simple and just. You playing rec, you get 5
No.
minutes.
It can't be in rec. That's what I'm saying. This isn't middle road. It does have to be its own thing. If it is its own thing, I am 100% in favor of making it more fun.
See.
All right, there you go, guys.
See, what is it? I mean, everybody gets a ribbon in your book, right? Everybody wins.
Everybody
a trophy.
gets a small player pack.
That's
the tournament gets more money.
Yeah.
Maybe we could use some of that for Pro Worlds or something like that.
Hey,
we always talk about needing more money for purses.
For the purses.
Oh, give me
Here
a
we
break.
go.
I would personally rather see entry fees go up $5 a player, and all that money goes to a Pro Worlds. That's where the life
I'd be
needs to
for
be.
that as well.
Yes.
I would be interested in that, but also I'd be interested in mulligans in a separate division.
All right, guys. Well, that's our
No.
take. Reminder, just because we say this is our opinion doesn't mean it necessarily is our real opinion. We just like to argue.
Tim says do it for the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship. And that, Tim, I'm extremely interested in. No ratings.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, so we're going to post this on the Facebook group, and we want to get your thoughts on this in the comments of this posting. So, all right, guys, that's it for the Disc Golf Hot Takes. We'll see you on the next one. Wait. Are we done? Are we going to do the picks?
Do we want to...
Do you want to do the picks?
Okay, so for the YouTube audience, guys, thanks for sticking around with us. Anthony is going to get into Skip Base and start working up his picks. In the meantime, I would like to say that one of the comments on the chat board said, hot take, Bobby shouldn't be allowed to do hot takes anymore. I didn't type it. They typed it.
I want to hear Anthony's thoughts on mulligans.
Yeah.
Too. I know he didn't get to hear.
He didn't get to hear. Yeah,
he didn't get to hear the.
I heard enough.
And all he thought was, why they do that?
That's why he left.
Yeah, I couldn't take it anymore.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Oh no.
If I'm very much with Eric in regards to it's a logistics nightmare, right? I've heard people talking about, well, if you just make it for, or I saw people, I should say, talking about if you make it for only non-active PDGA members, then their rating doesn't count anyways, but then you're just going to get people to not sign up so that they can get the mulligans, and that 100% defeats the purpose. I love the spirit behind it of like, hey, let's just make this fun. But also like Eric said, you would have to split it because logistics wise and payouts, if you want to call it that, would just be chaos. You're going to basically just collapse the intermediate division. Everyone's just going to stay down in rec or novice or whatever. So, I'm in favor of making it fun somehow. I think 5 mulligans is too much.
I think 5 mulligans.
Buccaneer. I gotta adjust this real quick.
Silly.
Twice Buccaneer says I'm not good at hot takes. Did you not literally see us all arguing? That's the whole point of a hot take, is to cause this type of argument. So I would say this was actually a very good hot take.
Lukewarm take.
I think it's a successful hot take because of the
because
of the
the
argument.
whole point was
I
to
like
make it.
I think it's a good.
So
one.
we're on the same page. Bobby doesn't actually believe this.
Again.
I truly believe this. Okay? A separate division with
Nah,
mulligans.
dude. No, you don't though, because
I
you're Middle
don't.
Road McCall.
I don't. I'm
Right?
Not, no, I'm not Middle Road McCall.
Middle Road McCall.
Middle Road McCall.
I'm not. I just got excited that this sounded like just dumb enough for me to get excited about. I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's dive in. I'm in.
Of course, I think that's a stupid idea and it would never logistically work. But it made for an interesting
It
hot
did.
take.
It sure did.
I like it. If it's a separate division, I think it could actually do something. Truly, like outside of rec. No ratings.
Get outta here with your
low
mulligans.
entry fee. Have your mulligans. Do it.
I
Have
think
fun.
people don't understand what a hot take is. They think because I think what we've done is we've had hot takes that are so
be super
close to
real.
reality that people think we're debating real things that could happen. That's not what a hot take
Like
is.
we're losing friendships over this.
I know.
Yeah, I literally don't like you guys.
Hot takes are twists on things like that. So I don't know how to explain it, but anyway.
Okay. Anyway.
All right, so
Shelby the bot on YouTube just agreed with me, so I'm just saying.
I've been.
but she
swatted
also
to death.
loves a lot of different things.
Yeah,
so-
that's true. That's very true, and as do lots of bots.
Right. That's so funny. All right, so we're gonna do we'll do an addendum to the disc golf answer man on the skip base. So do you got your picks already? How are we doing this now? We're doing it differently.
Anthony's doing it
It's just Anthony's picks.
because
Right, but how are we gonna discuss it?
well, I mean, I think he says who he's gonna pick, and then
And then we
say,
agree or disagree, or
No. I think we just say that sounds good, or this is why that person would play well there. Like I understand where you're coming from.
are we just gonna make fun of him?
So yeah, you guys
That's
just
a stupid
vote.
pick.
Hang on, this
No.
is not what I signed up for.
No,
just
what
gonna
I'm
get
saying
made
is
fun
like
of.
it's less about the picks before and more about the picks after. Like so Anthony will report a couple of minutes after and say, this is how we did. This is who I picked that did well. And
So then, do I say my picks ahead of time, or do I leave
yeah.
it?
I think
I'm
you can say them
confused
ahead of
now.
time.
I'm confused.
What?
So we're gonna record it now, but not play this until after.
No, we record this
No,
now.
We discuss the picks after.
That's where we get the most benefit from it is afterwards.
After he makes the pick.
After the tournament is over.
After the tournament's over and we discuss those picks and then make the picks for next week. Like making the picks is less, discussing
Yeah.
afterwards is more.
All right, I'll follow along.
You want me to talk about it then?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, you ready to record?
Give
All right,
me
so
1 second,
YouTubers,
yeah.
thanks for hanging tough.
Like NKTOB.
I thought the song was in my mind. I was trying to figure it out. Hey, is it just hang tough? Or?
Hanging tough.
Oh, is it hanging tough?
Get out of here, bots. There you go. Thanks, Anthony.
I'm on it today.
All right, let me know.
Oh, we're good.
Oh, we're good?
Yep.
Okay. All right, guys, this is an addendum to Disc Golf Answer Man episode 304 because we had told you we were doing Skip Ace and we had forgotten, so my apologies for that. But we are doing it a little bit different this time around. Now, only different in the way that we make the picks, but you still can go to skipace.com, sign up for the DeGam League. Just look for leagues and then search DGAM. The code or password, I'm not sure how Johnny V has that set, is still DGAM. Get in there. If you're already in there, I believe he has it set up to where our league is already ready to go. Get your picks in for the Memorial before the cutoff time. Anthony will make the picks. If you do better than Anthony, then from that group, that list of names, we will pick a winner and we will send you out a goodie. Robert, take it from there.
Well, and part of the reason that we're asking Anthony to do it this time around is
Because we lazy. No.
it's because I'm going to say me and Bobby because Eric actually usually does pretty well. But Bobby and I are notoriously bad at picking.
And remembering,
Yeah.
if I recall.
Yeah,
So
remembering
last
to do
time
that,
We
yeah.
always forgot to do
Yeah,
That's
Eric
correct.
is very good at it when Eric does it.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
True.
That's right. So all that to say, last year in the Disc Golf Answer Man League, Anthony finished 9th. Is that what you said? Something like that?
Something like that.
You
and
did-
it-
you
it
did
was
quite
the last
well.
2 years. But
You-
who's counting?
You did quite well. So this time around, we want Anthony to make the picks on behalf of Disc Golf Answer Man because here's the deal. We are not above claiming someone else's good work as our own.
Yes.
even if you know whose work it was.
I am
Unless-
not prideful.
You fail.
Look, all I'm saying, yeah, and
Sure,
if you do poorly, we'll be like, well, we didn't pick those.
Yeah.
All right,
we
so-
had no input.
Wow.
So anyway,
I can't
so
believe you picked that
Anthony's
guy.
going to make the picks. If you go to skipace.com/discgolfanswer or /DGAM, that's where our league is. Anthony, we are about to go to the Memorial.
Yes, this is Memorial, which is being played in Scottsdale, Arizona. This is what how many years has this been going?
Million.
Million.
A lot.
Million
I
and a
think it's
half.
I think it's in the 30s.
It's definitely
So
up there.
we have obviously all the top if not all, the majority of the top players, all kinds of people rated over 1,000. Lots of names that you've heard of, and I'm sure lots of new names you have yet to hear of.
Anthony, quick question. What's the limit on ratings points?
6,000.
Okay. Sweet. So you have 6,000 points to pick 6 competitors.
Correct. Four MPO, 2 FPO.
Yeah, and if let's say you think you're going to be clever and just pick like the top 3 finishers and then tank your 4th pick, you get negative points if they're below a certain level. So you really do have to allocate your points wisely.
Correct.
All right, Anthony. So let's talk on the FPO side to start off with. Now this is actually you can probably do them both together because they really work together. You can't just pick one without the other.
Right.
So you go ahead. Tell us what's up.
So I started off with FPO actually, and the easiest starting point was, who won last year?
Right.
Last year, the winner was Evelina Salonen. She's rated 964, so I went with her as my first FPO pick.
Yep.
FPO, you can kind of save some points just because they're rated so much lower than the top MPO players. So that's why I went with her. And then for my second FPO pick, I went with our very own Paige Shue.
Nice.
Nice.
I think she played really well in Vegas. She won it last year, and I know she didn't quite have her best performance at Memorial last year, so I'm sure she'll be looking for revenge. She's rated 946, and I can see her having a very strong finish out there this year for sure.
I like it.
And then on the MPO side, I was kind of going back and forth between a couple different lineups here. I went with some homegrown local guys. AB Anthony Barela is rated 1017. I know he hasn't been playing a ton this offseason. He's going to school and stuff like that.
That's a
but
value pick right there.
He is.
AB?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
At what's his rating? you said?
10-17.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He's much better than that.
He could go out and play those courses with his eyes closed and shoot 12 under.
Heiser.
Yeah. And then my other local pick was Paul Yulymarie.
Yep.
Coming off of an injury from last year. I think he tore his ACL and was out most of the year.
Yep.
But he is 1025 rated, and I was going back and forth between Paul and Emerson. Emerson's rated 1024. I can see him having a very good year or a very good finish out there as well. I just went with Paul. He's from the area, a little bit more familiar with.
Oh, Paul Yulymarie.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
For a second, I thought you were talking about Beth, and I was like, that's a pretty big ratings disparity.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. You will notice that I do not have Paul Macbeth in my picks for a
Right.
couple of reasons.
Actually, we don't see it, so we will not notice it.
You'll see it when I'm at the top of the leaderboard.
Hey!
Nobody's winning any
Good
giveaways this
comeback.
week. I have Eric Oakley at 1017. I think he's just another value pick. I think there's no way Eric shoots below a 1017 average on the weekend. And so it's just kind of a way to save a little bit of points. And then my splurge pick, I went with Double G.
Yeah.
He's 1031. Like you were saying earlier, Heiser.
However, it is a little different this year.
Heiser, straight shot. Heiser.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if people have seen it, but Garrett Gerthy can throw, aces on a par 4.
Yeah, quite far.
So I'm pretty happy with that. And I was going back and forth between him and Adam Hammies, who's 1030 rated. I think just with Double G's play in Vegas, it's hard not to pick him.
Yeah. Big. So one question from me: no Tristan Tanner in that lineup, especially at 991. That has to be the value
would be
pick
the
of
value.
all
Correct,
value
for
picks.
sure.
The way that I went with my picks was try and get more value across the board.
Okay.
If you are picking Paul, Ricky, Eagle,
Yeah.
you also better be picking Tristan.
Right.
Because you're going to need to save. I mean, I don't have anyone below 1017, and I don't have anyone below 1031 on the MPO side. So if you're going to be taking Paul at 1060,
Yep.
you're jacking your rating up. You only get 6,000 points, so you would have to go with Tristan, or if you know of some other, 990 at the highest rated guy.
Right.
Plus,
dig it.
coming from experience, coming off of a killer weekend like that, sometimes you have a little bit of a hangover.
Not always a guarantee that.
Yeah.
For sure. And we hope Tristan plays well, but
Absolutely.
yeah. I hear you.
Yeah.
I can dig it. All right, so those are Anthony's picks for this week. Quick recap: 4 MPO players.
Oakley, Double G, AB, and Yuly.
And then on the FPO side.
We've got Evelina Salonen and Paige Shu.
So if you are not already a member of the Disc Golf Answer Man Skip Ace League, go to skipace.com/DGAM. You can join the league with code DGAM, and you can pit your picks against Anthony's. For the people that beat Anthony each week, we'll just give them a pat on the back. Sometimes we'll enter them into a chance for a giveaway with one of the discs that we have. But this is a good chance for you to participate and see if you can beat up on Anthony.
And sometimes we will have Torchy's Taco in your honor.
Yeah, that's true. We'll dedicate our lunch to you.
Because in 6 days, 5 days,
Okay.
will be March.
Yep. Oh,
And
Roscoe.
the taco of the month is the Roscoe.
Dude, I had the scallywag,
the
by
most
the way.
famous
Yeah.
taco of Torchy's Tacos. Anyway, all right, guys. So that's it, right? We good?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Thanks, guys, for joining us on our Disc Golf Answer Man episode 304 Addendum Skip Ace edition. We'll see you on the next Disc Golf Answer Man.